I know we're not the same, but you're calling me out. I can't explain it. You're calling me out. I'm not to blame. Don't call me out.
You exited. All right, so Alec, I want to ask you, how would you handle seeing someone having a seizure in public?
Yeah, so basically the way that I handle it is you kind of have to like assess the situation, the surroundings, see like what's going on. And like when this had happened with a friend of mine, and he's not even one who's had seizures before, but we were sitting at a picnic table with a group of friends, and he basically just fell off the side of the table and started like convulsing real quick. And I was the only person that noticed it, and I basically went up to him. And people say that you're actually not supposed to like do anything like by like constraining their body.
Right.
But out of my reaction, because I saw him kind of starting to foam out the mouth, I basically like put him up on his side, just so that he wouldn't like choke on saliva or something like that. So I basically like held him up on his side, and eventually, you know, he like snaps out of it, and he was like touching himself everywhere, like with the But everyone else at the table was kind of just sitting there, like kind of laughing at him, like, "Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you doing that?" Like thinking that he was just cracking a joke.
Yeah.
But he wasn't. He actually just randomly had that. That was like around when I was in high school swim and everything. So
Okay.
we were probably real beat from swim practice. Maybe didn't have enough water.
How long did it last for? Do you know? It was pretty.
Maybe like a minute or less.
Okay. I mean, that's still a good amount of time.
It was a pretty quick one.
Yeah.
But it was just, yeah, he was really like convulsing, but then he snapped right out of it and was just like,
What the hell just happened?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Did you ever ask him like if he was okay like days later, or like went to the doctor or anything about it?
yeah, definitely, you know, and I feel like it kind of painted a picture for him of like the seizures and situations that I've had.
Yeah.
So it helps him see things a little bit in like our perspective.
Yeah. And see things differently. That reminds me of like a situation where me and my friend, we went to a festival and we stayed in a hotel, and of course we're, you know, drinking, partying, have a good time. And I remember, because I like video recorded it too, and it's not a huge story, but pretty much I was like joking about like drinking too much, and I'm like, oh my god, if I like have more to drink, I'm gonna end up having a seizure. And I wasn't even diagnosed yet. Like, just like rewatching that, like, man, I just like joked about it so casually, and then like now look at me years later, actually having epilepsy and, you know, just having seizures here and there. So be careful what you say. I will say that. That kind of also relates to the TikTok I saw. Alec, I sent it to you. With the fucking people that are throwing themselves on the floor faking seizures. And it's like the disrespect, you know? Of course, I don't know, but we got to make it aware that, like, that's not something to, like, joke about.
No, of course not. And you know, they're doing it because they think it's funny and it's gonna get them like 1 million views and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you could see the public's reaction to it. Like they were literally scared for him.
Yeah.
They were worried about him, and he's over there, just standing up a couple seconds later, like pointing and laughing at him. Like I couldn't even imagine like how the public felt.
Yeah. So. I mean, the only thing I would say for that, like, it makes the public aware, like, oh shit, like what's going on, they might like look it up later, like what is it when someone's on the floor, like, seizing. I could see that perspective, but at the same time, like, bro, you're just doing this for views. You literally see him standing, and then he like just falls on the floor carefully, and then just starts like shaking his whole body. And I don't know, I just feel like that's kind of disturbing, you know?
And like you were saying, like you were cracking the joke about like having a seizure, and then you end up having seizures, and now this guy's over here faking a grand mal.
Yeah.
In front of people at grocery stores.
Uh-huh.
And people were trying to help him.
Yeah.
He thinks it's funny when people are trying to help him. So
right.
If he ends up having a seizure one day
and
no one's there to help him, then he's gonna feel really stupid for doing that.
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
Oh yeah, so basically how you brought up like other people saying that you have epilepsy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely more comforting to tell that person you're like yourself.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Which I absolutely will tell someone if I feel like it kind of goes with what we're talking about, But that's not gonna be like, hi, my name is Andrea, I have epilepsy, just to let you know. Like straight off, like, no, man, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's like if you had diabetes or something. Hi, I have diabetes. My name is.
Yeah. No one's gonna do that.
Well, what are activities people say to avoid?
Okay. Yeah. So that was something when I was reading. It kind of triggered me a bit. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this list right here. So like I said, some of these it's kind of like okay, obviously.
Yeah.
Not many people do that much of this, but like the first one on the list is aviation, which is like, yeah, how many people are flying a plane?
Right.
So it's like whatever. The other one was climbing.
Like rock climbing.
Yeah, but I mean, I still take that as like what, hiking?
True.
Like
or using a ladder.
I guess, but it's like what you're saying, like it's bad to go hiking. Like any physical activity is healthy for you. It's honestly any kind of activity that's going to keep you healthy and in better shape is going to still help prevent seizures happening. Because if you're unhealthy, you're more likely to have seizures.
Yeah, you're right.
So climbing, hiking, stuff like that, I would definitely recommend like go out and do it.
Wait, it literally said hiking?
No, it's saying climbing.
Okay.
But like hiking and stuff, it can be very similar to that, depending on like the type of mountain or whatever it is. And then diving. Yeah. Which, I mean, when I read that, I'm like, okay. Like I grew up on a swim team.
That's true. You're all about water.
Yeah, I would be doing gainers off the high dives. Like
that?
A gainer?
Oh, a gainer? Yeah, no, I don't know.
It's like a backflip while moving forward. So you jump forward.
Cool.
Go.
That's dope.
Yeah, like there, and over in Sedona, there's like all the creeks over there. You go cliff jumping.
That's cool. Yeah, I've never really done that before.
It's a blast. Like there's a lot of cool little creeks over there, and they get pretty deep, and you can jump off the cliffs, and the water's just all super fresh, like mountain water.
And you've always been fine every time you've done that?
Yeah, I've never had a problem with that. So seeing that, I'm like, okay, that's something I love to do. So
yeah.
The list that got me. Motorsports. Obviously, like driving.
Yeah. We both don't drive.
Yeah.
Just to throw that out there.
Yeah, I mean, in my past, I crashed a Mazda 3 from a seizure. I crashed a Dodge Charger from a seizure, and I've crashed a 2015 Nissan Titan from a seizure. So at this point, I'm like, yeah, I'll take a break.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's just considered driving, not necessarily like motorsports. I would go like dirt biking with my friend Cameron, and it was like out in Whitman, and we're just like in the middle of the desert. You know, there was like nothing around. There was no roads or cars or anything.
Yeah.
But we would just be out there in like the middle of the dirt, just riding our bikes around.
That's
I had a blast. I wasn't worried about like a car hitting me or
yeah.
that. So I understand, like, yeah, if you have a seizure while riding, something could go wrong.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I had a blast doing that stuff, and
I'm glad you were able to.
I wouldn't let it hold you back from trying it.
Yeah. I mean, at least having it under control, like your seizures under control at least. Because every time, the reason why I stopped driving is I didn't crash, but every time I would drive, I would start seeing those sparkles. The last video we made, I kind of explained my seizures. Sparkles start happening, it, kind of get, like, my vision goes away. So once that happened, like, 2-3 times, I was like, this is just not safe anymore, like, I can't drive, like, without being so, like, paranoid and cautious. So I just said, like, fuck it, I'm just gonna stop. And then every time I have my neurologist appointment, they always ask me if I'm driving, and I tell them no, because obviously you're not supposed to, and I don't. So I rely on Ubers, just like you, right, Alec? Ubers, do you do Lyft? Lyft is expensive, man.
Honestly, in a lot of scenarios, Lyft can be a lot cheaper.
Really?
But that's like from my experience, but I usually just keep both of the apps.
Same.
And then, I'll search it on Uber. Let's say it says like $18.75 for this ride.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll open up Lyft, and Lyft might say like, oh, wait 15 minutes and pay $11.50.
Yeah.
So like, depending on like if you could wait and save on both of the apps and what the price difference is, then I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna pick the cheapest one.
Yeah, of course. I always do the wait and save one. Like,
Yeah. I mean, if you can't wait 10 minutes.
yeah, and sometimes it's not even 10 minutes. Like, it comes by sooner.
Yeah, exactly. You click wait and save, and then they'll still show up in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's just how to save.
Yeah.
That's how you save.
Yep. And then we both got an electric scooter, right? You have,
Yeah.
yeah. I use that one if I need to, like, go across the street or something real quick. Because one time I used Uber to, like, literally go across the street, like, the drive would be like 5 minutes, and like I ended up spending like $10. I'm like, this is stupid. Let me just walk or fucking ride my scooter.
I agree. Like, I'll just ride my scooter around, like I'll go to like Dutch Bros, grab a coffee.
Yeah.
In-N-Out. I got like an In-N-Out gift card for Christmas.
Nice.
I just went over to the In-N-Out and got a couple burgers and stuff like one of the weeks, and I mean, it's fun riding those things around.
It is. But okay, let me ask you this. So you went and you got Dutch Bros, and did you stay there and drink it, or did you like try to go back home?
Honestly, if you don't have a cup holder on that thing,
right.
Yeah.
You just gotta wait it out.
Yeah, no, that's a pain, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And there's times where I've like went and picked up food, and that they give it to you in like the paper bag.
Uh-huh.
And I've like held that on my handlebar while I ride.
Yeah, you just gotta squish it on there.
Yeah, but you but you feel like the scooter like bouncing on like the cracks and going up the curbs and stuff.
Mhm.
And I'm just waiting for the food to come ripping through the bottom of the bag.
My scooter, it has a hard time like closing. So whenever I use it, I just leave it open and I kind of just like carry it around with me, and it does feel kind of weird because like yeah, people are like, what are you doing? Another thing, yeah, is I wear sunglasses in grocery stores. I mentioned that to you, right?
Yeah, well, you said the lighting of the grocery store.
Yeah, there's something weird and something off about the grocery store lighting. So when I first started wearing my shades, I'm like, man, I just look sketchy as fuck, or I like weird, only one walking around with some shades. But after a while, I just stopped caring. Like, this is what I got to do to feel comfortable and make sure, like, because if I don't have my shades, sometimes I'm like, oh, fuck, like right now it's just like really bright. Like, I hope nothing happens. I hope I don't sing my sparkles. Like, so it's just more comfort with the sunglasses.
I agree. And like the whole topic about the scooters and everything,
Yeah.
So over here, I've seen a couple couples,
Mhm.
like these people that are dating, or they might be like husband and wife, they'll be riding one wheels together on like a weekend. Like, have you ever seen the one wheel?
I don't think so. I don't know.
It's basically like a board shaped square, but then it has literally like one wheel right in the middle.
Uh-huh.
It kind of works like a Segway. So as you're standing on it, when you lean forward, it goes forward. When you lean backward,
Oh, interesting. And they're just riding it together?
well, they each have one, and then
Oh.
they're just like cruising around, like going to In-N-Out or stopping, and you can just pick that thing up like it's kind of going to be like a heavy skateboard.
Yeah.
But you could still just pick that up, and it's not like you have a full-size scooter.
Right.
But it's still like a quick way to get around, and in a way it kind of looks more futuristic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those things are like $1,000 though. Those
you got me.
Yeah.
Oh.
But in Tempe, since Tempe had all the bird scooters, the Lime scooters,
Yeah.
like it was so common to be seen on a scooter out there.
Yeah.
And since it wasn't like your scooter, it was just like, oh, you'd start your ride, and let's say you only had to go like 2 miles, you would just like full throttle that thing and go 2 miles.
Yeah.
End your ride, and it would maybe be like $2.
Yeah, it would be cheaper. That's for sure.
Yeah, it was basically like $2 for that ride. And then you didn't have to worry about the scooter. You didn't have to carry it around.
Yeah.
And then when you're needing a ride back, the scooters were everywhere. You just open the app, you see them all over the place. You walk up to one, scan it, hop on, take off.
Yep.
It was just convenient. It was more normalized.
Yeah.
Over here, I feel like I'm like the only person riding a scooter.
Right? Yeah. Same. I'm in Gilbert, and I was riding it somewhere, I forget. And then I saw someone riding a scooter too, and I was like, whoa, I was like, what's up? I mean, I didn't talk to them, but I was just like, that's cool.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like we're just ahead of the game.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, the one wheels, the electric scooters. There's already like electric bicycles, but I mean those don't really stand out as much.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I would want an electric bicycle just because, like, just give me a regular bike. Like, I'll ride a regular bike.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, those bikes in general, they're electric, but you see them like still pedaling.
Really?
Yeah. Though you'll see them pedaling, and it's like it's supposed to make it like easier for them to pedal, or maybe it's a way to like recharge the battery or something.
Interesting.
But I see these electric bikes, and then the people are still pedaling on them. So I'm going, well, then what's the point?
Yeah. That's funny. That's freaking funny.
Like, yeah, I'm like that. I thought it was supposed to be kind of like an electric dirt bike in a sense. Like you just
Right.
it takes off. Like,
Yeah. Huh.
but I don't know. But yeah, one of these other topics on here. So one of them, scuba diving.
Oh, dude. I tried to get my scuba diving certificate or whatever. This was before I had seizures, before I got diagnosed. And I couldn't do it because my anxiety was fucking. I never had. That was the first time I had a panic attack. Was when we were doing our final lesson. They wanted us to go down, obviously with the mouth and the breathing thing. Actually, yeah, nothing here. That's what tripped me out. Is like we're supposed to go all the way down to the bottom and still just breathe out of this mouthpiece. And I'm like, what if I accidentally breathe up my nose?
They didn't give you a nose plug?
No.
I would have been sitting there come on, you guys have to have a little nose plug or something.
Yeah. I was on my way down and I just started flipping out and I was like, nope. I went back up and Andreas, he completed it with the other people, but that's when I realized I was like, scuba diving is not for me.
You're the one sitting up top waiting for him.
Yeah. And I was like, hey, it's better than if I were to go down and suck up water and then they'd have to do CPR on me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah. I went snorkeling, but that was in 6th grade. We got to take a trip to Catalina.
Cool.
Yeah, that was awesome. I always had looked up to that because I saw a lot of my siblings get to go on that trip.
Yeah.
We went on basically you'd drive on a bus over to California, and then you'd take a ferry ride over to Catalina Island, and then you'd get to go scuba diving, and you'd stay in cabins with your classmates.
That's cool. You've done so much cool shit, I feel like.
Well, but all of it was when I was so young.
I mean, you still remember it. You still live those experiences.
I agree. Well, I mean, my favorite part about that trip was so my brother and sister, they always would brag about their jackets that they got at Catalina. And it was basically a hoodie, and every year got a different color. So and it would basically just be a hoodie that said Catalina Island. And so mine ends up being lime green or I don't know, maybe that was my brother's color, who knows. But yeah. We all ended up getting different colors, but it was once you got your jacket, it was mission accomplished.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you get multiple jackets?
No, we only got the one from the field trip.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
But that was probably the best field trip you could have ever had. That
was your trophy, huh?
Yeah, it was 6th grade or something. So.
Heck yeah.
It was amazing.
That's awesome.
And it was just a normal public school. It's not I didn't go to some crazy charter school or something or.
Right. Yeah.
So that for a public school, yeah, that was amazing field trip.
Heck yeah.
One of the that was scuba diving. Then this one, there's ski jumping.
Oh.
Which obviously snowboarding, all that kind of stuff. I enjoy that. You said Andreas and all them, they like that.
Andreas's brother, so my brother-in-law, and my mom, and Michelle, close friend. So just people around me just love the snow sports, but I'm not really about it. It's too cold.
Have you tried snowboarding or skiing?
Snowboarding, not skiing.
See, you might be more of a skier. I'm telling you, my friend Trevor, he skateboards with me, but he skis when he goes to the mountain.
He prefers skiing over snowboarding?
Yeah.
Huh.
That's just what he's always done. I feel like that's what his dad taught him at a younger age. Mm-hmm. But some people, it's just easier for them to pick up skiing because feel really trapped on a snowboard.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's what it was too. Yeah. I think I'm just afraid to like go too fast and not being able to control it. Or if I try to stop, it'll just like fling me over and I'm just gonna like flip and then turn into like a snowball. You know what I mean?
Like in the cartoons.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah. And then the last one on this list was surfing.
Mm.
And I'm sitting there going, okay, it's a water sport.
Yeah.
You're literally, if you wipe out, you're gonna land in the water.
Yeah, but you're connected. Well, yeah, huh?
And yeah, you're connected to your board that floats.
Yeah. But I mean, it's just the possibility of drowning, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like
but
having a seizure while you're like in water, kinda. You could like, I don't know.
I agree.
That's why when I first got diagnosed, 2020, I remember, I don't know why, but I specifically remembered them telling me you cannot be in a pool by yourself. And I was just like I get it, like it makes sense, but like damn, like I feel like a kid or something. Like
Yeah, you don't want to be told that.
yeah. Like I can swim, like let me just put my feet in the water. But yet like my mom's like, you know, let me know if you're gonna go out there by the pool. Or like I'll just be going out there to walk to throw out the trash and she's like, be careful. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not even like gonna be by the pool, but okay, like I'm trying to respect the concern, but you know, sometimes it's like it's hard to hear that stuff.
What about like the vitamins and medications?
Oh yeah. All right, well, I'll just say what I take real quick. I take Epidiolex, 2 milligrams, 2 milliliters, something like that. 2 of these syringes. And then I take Keppra. I take 4,000 milligrams a day. So 2,000 in the morning, 2 at night. These are what they look like. L008.
And are each one of those, how many milligrams is each?
500. These are 500. That's why I have to take 4 in the morning and 4 at night. I also take Vimpat, which is also known as lacosamide. Little blue pills. I don't know if I said already 200 milligrams per pill, and I take that twice a day as well. And then I take a little folic acid twice a day. It's just a little vitamin that I was told to take, so I take it. And then those are the 3 seizure meds I take. So yeah, so Vimpat, lacosamide, or I'm sorry, I fucked that up. Vimpat and lacosamide are the same. So I take lacosamide / Vimpat. I don't know if I need to say that, whatever. And then Keppra, and then Epidiolex, which I kind of had to fight for this one because they didn't want to give this to me. And then I was like, hold up, let me tell you why this should work for me and why I think I should take it. And then I wrote down all my notes when I researched it all, and then I showed it to my neurologist. Well, she's a nurse practitioner, but she works with my neurologist, so I always see her. So basically, Epidiolex is CBD, pretty much. It's a cannabidiol. So it's literally like all CBD, and then like contains sesame seed oil, sucralose. Oh, a strawberry flavoring. It says it right here. That's
okay.
Strawberry.
Yeah, that's what I was asking about the other day.
Ethanol. So I don't really know those.
Ethanol.
ETHANOL.
Yeah.
Yeah. Product of the UK. I just noticed that right now.
How much do you pay for that stuff?
$10, like every month.
Dang, so you said it has ethanol in it?
Yeah, is that bad?
So ethanol, it's a renewable fuel made from various plants materials collectively known as biomass. It says more than 98% of U.S. gasoline contains ethanol to oxygenate the fuel.
Interesting.
That's why when I heard that, I was like, ethanol. I'm like, that sounds like some type of like gas.
Honestly, I don't know, man. There's so much shit in the food and drinks we intake, so
Yeah.
I'm noticing a good difference with using this, so I'm gonna keep taking it.
I mean, it does say it's made from plant materials, so it's natural.
Yeah. And
Oh.
the sucralose, that sounds like it being candy or something.
Yeah. Well, see, this is another thing it's saying about ethanol. It's saying, because this right here on Google, it says, what is ethanol used for? And in this little paragraph, it says, ethanol is also the intoxicating ingredient of many alcoholic beverages, such as beer, wine, and distilled spirits.
What the hell?
Yeah, that's why it's kind of making me wonder, like,
One thing that they told me though too is that I would have to check my liver every like 3 to 6 months or something like that. So that kind of makes sense.
well, I mean, they say that about every medication in general. Yeah.
I've never had to check my liver functions that often, but I don't know. It's still new. I started taking this like either the beginning or the end of October. So I guess I'll just still have to see.
Do you have like do you feel it? Like, do you feel anything from it, or?
Well, I feel like it's helping me for sure. In the beginning, I couldn't really tell, like the first month, second month, it was kind of just still, I was still feeling normal. This past December, did I tell you I had the flu?
No, I don't think so.
Basically, had one in December, and then I had the flu, went to the emergency room, and they did the COVID test, and they stuck up the
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
You brought up, I don't think you told me that you had the flu, but you mentioned the COVID test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they did that and shoved it all the way up there, and they triggered a seizure. It had to be that. And all I remember is my vision was gone, and then I woke up on my side, and I was like gasping for air. I was like blah, like that pretty much. And like I knew where I was, and I like knew I just had a seizure, but like I can't talk. Like you're not gonna get a word out of me.
You were like still snapping out of it?
Yeah, I was definitely like delusional. I was calm. I was getting calmer because my husband's right there. I know I'm like in healthcare facility, so if anything were to happen worse or something, I'd be fine. But yeah, so I guess Andreas just stuck up my emergency pills, which is clonazepam, and he shoved like 3 in my mouth. I don't know if that is what got me out of my seizure, but regardless if I have my emergency meds or not, I will, come out of my seizure and just slowly, get back to normal, if that makes sense. I don't know, but kind of.
Like we were saying the other day. I mean, at least Andreas was there to give you your normal meds.
Yes, because I also mentioned the lady that stuck that thing up my nose, saw me having a seizure, and I guess she didn't do anything. She was kind of like, looked at Andreas to like what to do. So that's the issue too. I feel like people look at someone having a seizure, they know something's wrong, but they don't know what to do. And honestly, when you're having a seizure, there's not much to do other than count how long, like how many minutes or whatever, and then protect their head, put your hand or let them, be on the side and let them seize out, right?
Yeah, in a sense. I know that, like, one of the seizures that I had over at U of A, the one that I had during my class,
Mm-hmm.
because I actually had two during that situation, because I had the one tonic-clonic in my classroom, and then I woke up in the hospital, and then after like handling that, they released me, and I fell into another one right when I got to my apartment. But at that point, that seizure carried on for like 6 hours or something.
What?
Yeah, I basically was going in and out consistently for like
Oh,
6 hours, and so that's why they were like injecting me with different drugs, trying to get it to stop. And
I
like
see.
I was saying, one of the drugs they had given me was propofol,
Right.
and propofol had me just hallucinating.
Yeah. Like
So
some like acid or something.
I mean, yeah, basically, if like I've never done acid, but like from what people say, or like rap songs and stuff you listen to, the way that like people are explaining all of this, like I literally was seeing like a suicidal porta potty, and I'm like in a line of like people that are about to die, and I got like my mom in front of me, and I'm like, okay, no, get behind me, I'm gonna die first.
Oh my God. That's like, would you say it was an out of body experience?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then like I mentioned, once I stepped into like the suicidal porta potty, whatever you want to call it. I don't know why this is what I envisioned, but yeah, once I stepped into it, all of a sudden it's kind of like I was starting to snap out of the seizure. So I'm looking at, all of a sudden it's like I started to see kind of like a heavenly like white cloud, but then it's like turning gray, and almost like a smoke cloud is like falling onto me. So it was just still really trippy.
Yeah.
And then yeah, I snapped out of it, and that's when I'm like, holy shit, I'm in the hospital. My parents were there. My like brother was there and all this stuff, and I'm just like, wasn't I just back at my apartment?
Yeah.
Like, didn't I just get out of the hospital? What am I doing back?
I would be
I mean,
tripping.
even one of the tests they ran on me, I had the EEG cables, and I'm basically just sitting in the bed, and I'm looking at them like, well, when can you take this off? When can I go home? And they're like, well, we're waiting for you to have a seizure.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, well, what if I don't?
Sometimes that happens.
So they basically just slowly took me off my medication. And like I'm pretty sure I actually took note of this, because I kind of wanted to talk about it. Like when they ran this test, like my parents are there hanging out with me and stuff, and
Mhm.
all of a sudden they came in, and they're like, okay, yeah, we just got results that you just had a seizure. And I look at my parents, I'm like, did I? And they're like, I didn't notice. But apparently, based on the brain scans coming from the EEG cables, I did have a seizure.
Yeah.
But it's like, what? I was just sitting in there. My parents are right next to me, and it could have been for like 5 seconds or something, super quick. And they're like, yeah, you had a seizure.
It's trippy.
I'm like, how? I didn't notice it. My parents didn't notice it, and they're right next to me.
So you only had one the whole time you were there?
No, I had multiple, but
Okay.
that's because they were trying. This was when they were trying to trigger it, so I'm pretty sure they had to wait for me to have multiple to get like a solid reading for this test. But yeah, they had to like slowly take me off my medication,
They did the same for me too. The same thing. How long were you in the hospital for? For that study?
I don't know. It could have been like a couple days or a week.
Yeah, I remember I was in for that same study for like 4 days, and they found like I think they said like 32 seizures, and the only one that I knew of was like two. Like I thought I like had two or I wasn't gonna have enough, but at the end of the time they're like, yeah, so you had like 30 seizures, and I was like, what? Like I had no idea. Like there's some times where they're like, yeah, you're just like on your phone and they saw a seizure happening. And then it's just like so trippy to me.
But like I know my friend Trevor, his dad's brother got like a old school brain surgery where they actually took the scalpel and just like cut out a big chunk. And honestly, he's doing great.
A big chunk of his brain.
Yeah. So like the area that was causing the seizures, like the old school surgery is basically what they always end up asking you if you're willing to do if the laser ablation doesn't work out and if issues keep happening and you still want to pursue surgery. So they always end up going back to the old school surgery. And they mention taking this old school route, which basically they cut out just the good chunk of your brain that's causing the seizure and kind of a little more of like the surrounding area.
Mm-hmm.
And when I think about that, I'm just like, I don't know.
You are thinking exactly how I'm thinking right now. Because that's kind of like what my thing is right now. It's like either I'm going to do the RNS or they want to cut the area out. It's this side. And it's like, you're putting your life in someone else's hands, you know? Like the doctor that's going to do the surgery. It's rough to think about.
It is. I mean, even like my sister, she's a nurse.
Uh-huh.
And she'll send us like family group chats about like she basically is a delivery nurse.
Okay.
So she's like helping women like give birth to their kids and stuff every day. And when I hear that, I'm just like blown away. I'm
Yeah.
like, you do that every day?
Yeah.
Let alone someone that's like working on someone's brain.
Yeah.
You like go do that during the day and then you like come home and have dinner.
Right.
No, we're not the same, but you're calling me out. I can't explain it. You're calling me